Right, in this explainer, we're diving into a really powerful meditation from Ahmed Amara, and it's all built around this one profound idea. What if the key to getting through life's biggest struggles isn't about fighting harder? What if it's actually about finding a kind of freedom from the inside out? Let's get into it. So let me ask you something. Have you ever felt this way? You start something new, you're full of energy, you're ready to go, but then, over time, you just feel completely worn down. It's such a common feeling, right? This sense that no matter how hard you push, life just keeps grinding you down. So what is really going on here? Well, the heart of the problem, according to this meditation, is something pretty much all of us do. We resist. We're constantly fighting against stuff we can't control, trying to bend the world to our will. And it's that constant fight, that grinding resistance that just completely wears us out. And this idea introduces a really powerful metaphor. So picture this. Think of your soul, your inner strength, as this huge, powerful rock. When you start out, it's solid, it's whole. But when you're constantly fighting the flow of life's events, which is like this relentless stream, that strength starts to chip away. Piece by piece, it just erodes until eventually it collapses. Okay, so if fighting everything just leads to burnout, then what's the alternative? I mean, what are we supposed to do? This is where we get to the core aha moment of this whole meditation. It's a simple but absolutely profound shift in how we look at things. And this really breaks it down perfectly. You've got two paths here. On one side, you have the rigid rock. This is the path of resistance. The rock fights the water, it struggles, and what happens? It erodes, it collapses, and it ends in total burnout. But then, look at the other side. This is the flexible rock, the path of acceptance. This rock doesn't fight the stream, it just lets the water flow around it. See, it's still steadfast, it's still strong, but it handles everything with ease because it finds its strength in the flow, not against it. And this quote from the source just hits the nail on the head. If the rock were to resist the water would eat away at it until it collapses. It's so true for us, too. The real takeaway here is that it's not the water, it's not life's events that are the problem, it's the rock's resistance to it. It's our resistance that ultimately breaks us. So this brings us to a really logical conclusion, right? If the problem is internal, our own resistance, then the solution has to be internal too. It's not about trying to change everything out there in the world. Real, true power comes from changing the world within us. So what exactly is this inner freedom we're talking about? Well, it's a state of being. It's that feeling of peace and strength that you find not by fighting, but by connecting with yourself, and maybe with a higher power. It's the freedom you get when you finally let go of that need to control everything, and instead you find your strength in just accepting things as they are. And you know what's so beautiful about this? You don't need to go on some grand retreat or climb a mountain to find it. This freedom is available to you right here, right now. It can be found in the absolute simplest things, just by being present, like literally just watching water flow over a rock in a space that's no bigger than a meter. The power isn't out there in the big landscape, it's inside, in your state of mind. Okay, but before we can get to that freedom, we have to figure out what's blocking it in the first place. And the source has a great name for these blocks. It calls them our inner idols. These are the false beliefs we hold on to that keep us chained to that cycle of resistance. So let's really think about this for a second. What are these idols in our own lives? What are the mental stories and rules we cling to that stop us from just letting go and finding some peace right where we are? Here are some of the big ones, and I bet some of these will sound familiar. We tell ourselves things like, oh, I'll finally be happy when this or that circumstance changes. Or maybe I'll feel peaceful when so-and-so finally starts acting differently. We get totally fixated on what's missing, and we start to believe that our current situation is permanent. These are the idols, and man, do they keep us stuck. So the way out, the path to freedom, is to break these idols, just shatter them. It's all about this radical acceptance that no matter what your situation looks like right now, the solutions you need are actually right here. They're all around you. The only problem is you can't see them when you're obsessed with what's missing. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds good in theory, but how do you actually do it? Like, what's the first step? Well, let's get practical, because the source gives us a simple but really powerful exercise that you can start using today. Okay, here it is. It's a daily practice, super simple. First, you just find a quiet place and sit down comfortably. Then, take a really deep breath, but from your belly, not your chest. Feel that breath just filling you up with strength. Then, as you exhale, just let all that tension go. And finally, you repeat this from the heart. I am free in you, O Lord. I am strong in you. I am capable in you. It's about connecting to something bigger and reminding yourself of who you really are. And get this, here's the challenge. The source says to do this just once or twice a day for 19 days. That's it. And the promise is that the results will absolutely amaze you. Think of it like you're building a brand new muscle, but for your mind and your spirit. But look, I get it. It's easy to be skeptical and think, okay, but does this kind of mindset stuff really change anything in the real world? To answer that, the speaker shares this incredible personal story that really shows the power of this idea in action. So the story goes like this. He had this deep longing for a totally private beach, a place where he could just be alone and connect with God. But, it seemed completely impossible. The doubt started creeping in, his mind telling him a place like that just doesn't exist where he lives. But he kept pushing those thoughts away. He held on to the vision. He focused on the feeling of being there. And then, not even 3 years later, through this wild series of unforeseen events, he was guided to the exact spot he had been imagining. The lesson here is just so clear, isn't it? It's all about letting go of how it's going to happen and just trusting the process. It's about silencing that inner critic, that idol of doubt, and just holding on to your vision with faith. And so that brings us back to you. I want you to really think about this. What's the one inner idol, that limiting belief, that excuse that's keeping you stuck in resistance? And more importantly, what's one thing you can do to start breaking it today?